Hey parents, this is Michael here with a video to give you a lot of information, all the details about Project Serve coming up this June. The first of which is we are now past the payment due date. So if you have not turned in your balance remaining for Project Serve, you need to do that right now. You can do that online through westoverchurch.com. Click on My Westover and there'll be a registration option at the bottom where you can make that payment, or you can bring it by the church or to the student kiosk on Sunday morning. Project Serve will be taking place June 18th through the 25th. We will need students to be at the church promptly at 8:30 in the morning. We will be giving them breakfast. Jim Brown with Chick-fil-A has graciously offered to provide us with some biscuits for our departure. So once your students get there, they need to check in with Elisa at the atrium. And then once we depart, they're going to head to their vans. We'll be providing breakfast in the van, and then they're going to need money for lunch on the way. So make sure when they're packing, they don't pack their money in their bag, or they'll be very hungry on the way to Atlanta. We will be getting back, we estimate right now at 6 o'clock on June 25th, that's Saturday night. And more information as you get into that week, you can always follow us on our social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. It's all Westover HSM. The packing list for Project Serve is located at westoverfuse.com. We'll give you a couple of highlights of things that you definitely need to remember and take note of. Your student will need to bring money for 2 road meals, that's on the way down and on the way back from Atlanta, and 2 meals while they're in Atlanta. One will be Sunday afternoon, and another will be on Thursday evening. We'll also be doing the Kroger run again. Students don't have to buy anything, but if you want to send a little bit of money for them to have to experience Kroger with, that's fine. A good guess would be about $65. Should be plenty of cash for the trip. Your student is going to need to bring some clothes for this trip, and all the work sites are going to require t-shirts, no tank tops of any kind, and they're all going to need closed-toed shoes. Most work sites are going to require pants or long shorts, so no soccer shorts, and yoga pants do not count as pants. We will be sending out specific information about work sites on June 15th at Fuse. You'll find out what your work site is and any more specific information about packing needs for that work site then. As usual on Project Serve, we're sleeping on the floor and there's not a whole lot of room, so please make sure your student brings a single cot or a twin air mattress, or unless they just want to sleep on the floor, which is cool, they can bring sheets or a sleeping bag and a pillow, but no double cots, no queen air mattresses. Keep it to a single, please. Parents, one note about packing clothes for this trip. We will be in downtown Atlanta. Most groups are going to be serving the homeless population. So be very intentional about what clothes your students bring on this trip. Nothing revealing. Be aware that especially girls will be in situations where they will be around adult men, and we want to make sure we are doing everything we can to set them up for success and not put them in a position that could cause any issues. So please note that as you're helping your student pack for this trip. There are some things that we need to make sure you don't bring on this trip, as usual. No electronics, no hair dryers. There's going to be 230 people sharing like 14 outlets, so don't bring hair dryers or straighteners. No computers or iPads or anything like that as well. And please, parents, you can help us out a lot with this. No cell phones. This is for multiple reasons. One, cell phones are really expensive, and a trip like this where students are out and about or even bunking in large quarters, they can get broken or lost, and we don't want you guys to have to deal with that. On top of that, the point of this trip obviously is to connect with other students, and they're going to be around so many people and building so many new relationships. They don't need to be tracking what's going on outside of the trip. And I know on your end you may have concerns about wanting to be in touch with them if there's an emergency. We will take care of that. There will be a couple numbers that you'll be able to call, as well as a few email addresses that we'll be able to be contacted through. We'll have all that information available for you at check-in on the 18th. If you have any emergencies, you can always contact us, and we will be very near to your students in the case of an emergency. When we come back from Project Serve, we're going to have a whole bunch of wonderful volunteers that will spend a week pouring into the lives of your students. And one of the things we can do to help them is if you guys that are not going the trip would be able to volunteer to take the vans back to Enterprise. We would really appreciate that. You can send an email to Lindsay at fuse@westoverchurch.com if you're available to help with that. Also, the week after Project Serve, we don't have Fuse on that Wednesday because that whole week, after spending a week together, you'd be surprised, students come home and all they want to do is spend more time together. So the week after Project Serve, we usually have parents each night. There's a host family, a host home for a Project Serve party. If that's something you're interested in being involved in, please let us know. Again, you can email Lindsay at fuse@westoverchurch.com. And then also the third thing, The next Wednesday, July 6th, we will be celebrating everything that's happened on Project Serve, telling the story, sharing the great things that God has done both through your students and in your students while we were away, with a Project Serve movie and potluck night. That will be in the theater on Wednesday, July 6th, and we'll send out more information as we get close to that about who brings what for the potluck, but just mark that on your calendar. It's not a night you want to miss. You definitely want to be there for that. I just want to say thank you so much for entrusting your students to us for this week. I know it's a big deal, especially those of you that are first-time Project Serve parents, allowing us to take your student to downtown Atlanta and do some missions work that can sound kind of scary and be maybe somewhat intense. We really appreciate you entrusting your student with us. You can always follow along. Anytime we do a trip like this at westoverfuse.com, we'll be posting pictures and some videos and testimony of what's been going on while we're there. You can also follow us on any of the social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Westover HSM is our name on all of those for more details about what's going on the trip. And I just really appreciate that you're willing to partner with us. This trip is going to be a really exciting trip. It will be somewhat similar to what happened last year. We've got some new partners, some new organizations that we're working with. And just as last year, I am so pumped to see what happens in the life of your student while we're away for Project Serve. And my hope and my prayer is that as we come back from this trip, it wouldn't just be something that your students talk about and say, yeah, we had a great time there, but it really truly impacts their lives and changes the way they see their future, changes the way they see their involvement in the church, and changes the way they see their role in your family.